So it's about time we talk about my nice new desk. Look how nice this thing is. I love the design of it. And not to mention, one of the key features about this desk, you can hear it right now, it's a sit-stand desk. But we'll also talk about this nice little ergonomic chair. We'll talk about the PC mount and how I've mounted my screens with the new Desky setup. So yeah, we got a lot to talk about. So the one difficult thing about fully changing up the desk setup and how my PC is mounted and all my monitors is actually pulling the old one apart. Now there's so many cords and bits and pieces that I have to take away. This took a long time, but the biggest reason why I changed this desk is because my last one was 1.7 meters long. This is actually 2 meters long, so I'm getting an extra 300 millimeters on the end. And that just allowed me to mount my PC just over there, right on the edge, because previously it was kind of right here next to my legs, but it's further away because I've got the extra 300 mils, to that side. So it's so much better. There's more freeing space, just in front of me, which is great, obviously, because you don't want to have a whole bunch of things just getting in your way and making it difficult for you to edit. But we'll talk about a little bit of that PC mounting system, but then obviously this beautiful resin desk. And you can see here, this is the PC mount that I've actually chosen. The biggest reason why I chose a different one to the one previously that I've had is that my USB-C and USB-A cords at the top of the PC here, I actually didn't have any space between the PC and the actual desk itself. So I was kind of like jamming in the cords and it was just too tight. So this is actually mounted a little bit lower. It just suits my PC setup so much better. So in all honesty, I really don't stand when it comes to editing and all those kind of things. It really is distracting for me. I prefer to sit and edit. But one of the biggest things with these sit-stand desks is you can choose the very specific height when it comes to sitting at a desk. So if your chair can only reach a certain height, you can just bring it up a couple of millimeters and it's going to be the perfect height. So you can slide it under if you just lift up the desk. And some of those reasons are actually quite strange why you would get a sit-stand desk, but in practicality, it actually works. So when it comes to the desk, I actually chose the resin desk. This is called the Desky Dual Resin Hardwood Sit Stand Desk. So personally, I've gone for the natural walnut emerald river, mainly for the fact that my walls in my studio is green. So I did actually want to match the colors of my wall to my desk. It just obviously looks quite nice. And then next I chose the longest desk that they had. Like I said, I needed a 2-meter desk so I could actually put my PC further away from my legs, but you have a whole bunch of sizes that you can choose from, whichever suits your studio. So one of the big things that I actually utilize the sit-stand desk and adjusting the height is actually my overhead shots, because I don't actually have an overhead rig. I literally use a tripod and put the tripod up against the desk and literally just tilt it on the angle and then tilt the camera down facing directly downwards, and I have to lift up the bench to a very specific height. And it is very easy to adjust the height and lock it in, but you can actually control this through your smartphone because it does have Bluetooth control. So all you need to do is just hold that mode button, cycle through to the Bluetooth, hit mode again, and then actually pair your phone directly through to the Bluetooth, and then you can control it. But you actually have 6 different presets now instead of the 4. But now because you paired it with your smartphone, it's fully controllable with whatever height you want. Now in terms of the height, you do have a minimum of 60 centimeters all the way up to a maximum of 120 centimeters. So it will suit a whole bunch of different heights and situations that you need to use this in. And also with the RGB display, they actually allow you to change the colors to whichever one you prefer, which is just a nice touch. I actually changed my monitor setup as well, because my last monitor was actually a 3 monitor mount. But the con with that is that it actually stuck out too far over the top of the desk. So when I was shooting downwards, I was actually losing a lot of real estate of that desk, the width. Now what I've done with this one is I've actually individually bought just 3 monitor mounts. So I can actually have the monitor further away, or at least closer to the wall. And it's just really nice that I've got so much more real estate on my desk. I can put a water bottle there, I can put my MacBook over here, some camera gear there. It's really hard to explain how useful this is on a daily basis, because I'm literally at my desk every day. And things were just starting to annoy me because it was getting a little bit cramped on my actual desk. I've been wanting to change this monitor system for so long, and I should have changed it a long time ago, but thankfully I got this desk, and then it just gave me the motivation to fully change my monitor system. Like, it was cramping my style. It was literally like here. It's so much better. I should have done it a long time ago. I'm telling you now, but it's I've done it now, so I'm so happy. And look, I can completely understand that having 3 monitor mounts probably doesn't look as tidy as 1 monitor mount in the center, but it doesn't worry me. It gives me so much more real estate on the desk, so that's what I actually prefer because my workflow is so much better now. And personally, when it came to the monitor system, I just chose the cheapest one here. This is the Desky single eco monitor mount, and I just got 3 of these, and that's pretty much perfectly fine for my needs. Okay, so we're sitting on the floor for this last part because this thing, I highly recommend you get one. It is a desk drawer. Now, this is absolutely thin. I've been looking for something like this for ages and couldn't find one decent enough. This is perfect. Trust me, this is perfect. It's super slimline. It gives you the ability to mount it a little bit lower if you want, but I don't need it to be lower. I want it to be slimline. I want it to be inconspicuous and just hide away. This has got all my SD cards. It's got my wallet. It's got, what is it? Notepad, pens, and a hard drive. So all the things that you don't need in a massive drawer, just really small things right here. So I might even get a second one put over the other side because it's so slimline. It's just a perfect setup. I absolutely love this thing. Now, lastly is this chair. So it's a complete ergonomic chair. It's extremely comfortable. The biggest difference between this chair and my last chair is pretty much just the softness of the material. My last one was getting a little bit hard because I was just sitting on it obviously all day, and the cushion has obviously sort of worn down. This one seems to be like a memory sort of foam. It is much softer. It really depends on what you prefer. I absolutely prefer this. It's absolutely comfortable on my butt and my back, and obviously my head if I do end up leaning back. But there is just a little bit more adjustability when it comes to the height of these arms as well. But then it also slides forward and tilts back, which is pretty interesting. My last chair was sort of locked in a 90-degree angle, and the chair kind of pivots back, so it's a little bit different design. I prefer this design. Obviously the price does reflect that. It is a much better built chair. I kind of just went to my local stationery store called Officeworks. It was a fairly cheap chair, and definitely the build quality does reflect that. So you do pay for what you get, but this chair is so much more comfortable, and I do feel like it's going to last a lot longer when it comes to the actual material and how cushiony it will actually stay. And this particular chair is called the Desky Pro Ergonomic Mesh Chair, and I ended up just getting the black one. So that's pretty much my whole desk setup from Desky. Absolutely love it, recommend it. I love the look of this resin desk, but obviously it was so much more practical for my situation because I needed a little bit more length on the end. And then obviously my monitor mounts just made it so much more easier, more real estate on my desk like I was explaining before. But yeah, I hope this video was useful for some people, but yeah, hey, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. All right, let's get it.